Okay, yes, I was supposed to invite our lovely speakers up, but they made their way over. They don't need invitation. But today we're doing something a little different. We're not going to have a sermon, but we're having a Q&A. And so before I say it, before you clap at me, let me say it. We have our pastors. It's Dmitri and Alena Sarioglo. And then we have our pre-marriage counselors, Alena and Sergey Tsibulskiy. You guys have submitted really nice questions, and we're really excited to dig into all of them. We're also going to have a translator with us, Ruvim. He's going to be translating from Russian into English for some of you who need that. So yeah. Are we all good? Okay, so if you guys can go ahead and introduce yourselves, your couples, who you are, in case some of us don't know, and if we can start from pastors.
Provide couple more mics, it will help. Let's try 2 more, please.
Can we have the floor monitors on, please? Okay. Okay, so let's get started with the introductions. Who wants to go first? Which couple?
Well, my name is Dmitri. It happens to be that I'm a pastor of this church. And that's my beautiful wife, Alena. And we are married for almost 24 years. We have 4 beautiful kids, 3 daughters and 1 boy. We still love each other, and we are happy that God brought us together and we can serve Him together.
Раз. Надо историю рассказать, да?
I need to tell you guys a story.
Как мы познакомились или
Yes,
просто?
please. No. Love story. Real quick, but love story.
Быстро вообще не интересно, конечно. Это,
Very fast, it's not interesting.
да?
If fast, then I will do better.
Самое главное, что это я его выбрала.
The most important thing is that I chose him.
Когда мы первый раз познакомились,
When we first
увиделись,
met or first saw each other.
если бы он мне не понравился,
If I didn't like him,
то больше ничего бы не было.
then there would be nothing going on.
Потому что он уехал в другой город,
Because he left to a different city,
и уже через несколько месяцев я с подругой приехали к ним в город.
and only after a couple of months, me and my friend, we went to his city.
И если бы мы не захотели, то мы бы больше, я думаю, никогда не виделись бы.
If we didn't want to, then we probably would not never see each other again.
Так что, девочки, все в ваших руках.
Therefore, girls, it's all in your hands.
Это, наверное, было в Минске, да, в Минске.
It was in Minsk.
И, в принципе, через сколько, 2 года
And probably after around 2 years,
с половиной Дима сделал мне предложение в
2.5
Англии.
years, and
Три.
Pastor Dima proposed to her.
In England.
В Англии. Мальчики,
And it
все
was
в ваших руках.
It was in England, so boys, it's in your hands.
И потом мы в ноябре уже поженились.
And then in November we got
Это
married.
совсем коротко, конечно.
It's very short,
Вообще не интересно,
and it's not interesting,
но у нас хорошая, прикольная история.
but I think we have a pretty
Очень
cool
длинная.
story.
You can come up to them after for the long version. All right, thank you so much for sharing. Our next couple.
Okay, my name is Serge, and my beautiful wife, Alena. We've been married for almost 22 years. No, actually over 22 years. Sorry. A little nervous, yes, forgot. But happily married, like Pastor we're still madly in love with each other. We have 4 beautiful girls in our family, Milana, Blanca and Dominica. Milana, she's already have her own family. Hi, Milana. Yeah, we married her last year. We got rid of her. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We love her very much. We do have a ministry as a premarital counselors. This is something that got put on Alena's heart a few years ago, and we started doing it for over a year now. And Milana, our firstborn, she was always a guinea pig in the family. We always kind of experimented with her. So, her and Ruben, they were our very first couple for premarital counselors. So I think after that we got a little better. But it wasn't that bad, right? Right, Ruben? Yeah, no, he says yes. Yeah. What else? What did I forget?
Alena can share the love story.
Alena will
real
share the
quick.
love story, that's right.
Окей, наша история. Мы с Сережей были друзьями,
we-
хорошими друзьями,
We were very good friends
2 года.
for 2 years.
И потом мы вместе поехали на миссию в Россию.
And then after that, we went to a mission
И,
trip to Russia.
Одно утро, получается, так получилось, что
One morning
остались
happened
одни
so
мужики, и я одна.
That it was just all men left, and I was there with
И
them.
мне пришлось вставать, делать всем мужикам завтрак.
And I had to wake up and make all the men breakfast.
И Серега один-единственный, кто мне стал помогать.
And Serge was the only one who got up and helped me.
But я только недавно поняла, вот буквально 2, наверное, года назад,
But maybe only about 2 years ago, I found out
что my love language is help. But anyways, и получается, и вот просто я поняла, что в России что-то у нас произошло, какая-то искра
and
произошла.
I understood that there was some sort of spark that happened in Russia.
И только недавно я поняла, что он мне помогал, и тогда эта искра произошла.
And only recently I found out that it was only when he helped me that the spark came to be.
Так что, мальчишки, если вам
Therefore,
нравится девочка,
Boys, if you like a girl,
первый вопрос задайте, какой у нее love language.
is the first thing you have to find out is what's her love language.
Yes. И потом этим love language
And then from there,
ее, как сказать, добивайтесь.
you can make your way.
Но потом мы приехали с России,
But when we
и,
came back from Russia,
получается, я пошла на работу,
I went to work,
и там начали всякие рабочие ко мне, так сказать, подкатывать.
and that's when all the coworkers started coming up to me.
Я помню, один вечер пришла домой,
And I remember one evening I came
села в
home,
туалете на пол,
and I was on the floor in the bathroom,
и я сказала Богу:
and I told the Lord,
Бог, я не хочу boyfriend,
Lord, I don't want a boyfriend.
я хочу husband.
I want a husband.
На этой же неделе Сережа мне предложил дружить.
The same week, Serge offered me for us to be friends.
И когда мы с ним дружили, я уже не сомневалась, что он будет моим мужем.
And from that moment on, I didn't doubt the fact that he will be my husband.
Да, и от того, как мы с ним начали дружить до свадьбы, у нас было 9 месяцев,
And while we were dating, up until the marriage, we had about 9 months,
и больше не надо.
and no more was needed.
Хочешь что-то добавить?
You shared your love story and you answered 4 of questions we have. How many time you need to date and so on.
I'll ask again. I'm going to go in order. Well, thank you. Let's welcome our guest speakers one more time. Hopefully, all of our nervousness is out of the way, and we're so ready to jump into our questions. So the first question we have here is, what to do to prepare for marriage?
Well, the answer is in the question. You prepare for it. You prepare for it. Hey, let me say, guys, from the beginning, well, we got together to talk about relationship. And let me encourage you and explain that in your age, if you get it right and you do it right, you lay a foundation for all your life. If you get it wrong and you do it wrong, believe me, you will destroy all your life. So what we are doing today, maybe for some is just fun. Well, we'll just hear funny questions maybe some sexy questions, and it's all fun. I will just have fun here tonight. Well, don't just have fun. Learn something. Because as I said, if you get it right and do it right, you'll be blessed. If you get it wrong and do it wrong, it will destroy your life. Believe me, we lived long enough to say that. We lived long enough, and we've seen so many people, couples, persons. We've seen it all. So please take seriously what we are doing here. Yes, we're gonna have fun, but take it seriously, because that's your laying foundation, and it will benefit you. Or yeah, I wanted just to encourage you to take it fun but seriously.
So what were the practical ways that you guys followed to prepare for marriage? Quick, practical ones.
I think my advice would be seek God first. I know it's a cliche, but it is what you need to have a great relationship. Because God will take care of you and send you the person that will love you and care for you.
Я бы очень сильно советовала читать
I
много
would
книг,
encourage you all to read a lot of books,
особенно на тему, чем отличаются мужчины и женщины.
especially on the topic of what differentiates a man from a woman.
Потому что на самом деле мы сильно отличаемся.
Because truly we are two different beings.
И чем больше ты будешь знать про противоположный пол,
The more you know about the opposite sex,
тем легче тебе будет понимать, почему они так себя ведут,
the easier it will be for you to understand why
или
they
как
act a certain
завоевать его
way,
сердце,
how to overcome their hearts,
что надо говорить,
what do you
чтобы привлечь,
what you should say to attract them,
чего не надо говорить, чтобы он отвернулся от тебя и больше не хотел к тебе
what you
подходить.
shouldn't say to give her the ick.
Да, например, если вы начнете, девочки, прикалываться постоянно над парнем,
You know, if you constantly make jokes in front of a girl,
да, шутить над ним так некрасиво,
to another guy, it's not very appealing.
неуважительно говорить про него,
Speaking disrespectful about somebody else.
то я думаю, что парень навряд ли захочет на вас жениться.
You know, well, a guy, or
Также,
from a girl's perspective, sorry.
yeah.
Then the guy was probably not going to want to get married to you.
То же самое парни, если
Same way for men.
парень будет при девочке хвалить другую девочку,
If a guy is going to boast about a different girl in front of her
рассказывать, что тебе похудеть надо,
and say that you need to get skinny,
you're in trouble. Don't do this. Ну и так дальше. То есть читайте,
and so on.
читайте.
So I encourage you to read,
Слушайте много подкастов.
listen to podcasts.
Мне кажется, сейчас столько информации, даже в наше время было очень
I
много.
think there's already a lot of information
Мы
today,
очень
but
много
even back in
читали
our
книг.
days, there was a lot of information, and we read a lot.
Лена сказала насчет книжки.
And I was saying
Кто
about
слышал?
books.
Single Ready to Mingle.
There's
Слышали?
there's a book, Single Ready to Mingle.
Я думаю, вам эта книжка на много ваших вопросов ответит.
And I
И
think that
она-
this book is going to answer a lot of your questions.
И вы поймете, готовы вы или нет.
And you'll understand whether you are ready or not.
Well, prepare spiritually, as Serge said. Prepare emotionally, intellectually. Read books, as Alena said. And prepare financially, especially boys. If you don't have job, consistent income, you're not ready. Believe me. So prepare yourself in all levels. And when you will meet that one and only, you will be prepared. And when preparation meets with opportunity, something good happens.
Okay, say that we followed all of these advices and these steps, and we're prepared and we've met the person. So how do we know if the person that we are with is for us?
No red flags.
What are the red flags?
Если родители считают, что да, класс, подходит.
If parents approve
Approved.
your decision,
Пастор
if pastor
или ваш лидер ячейки,
or your leader,
если он нравится вашим, ну, он или она, ваши друзья одобряют тоже и не
if
говорят вам
even your
ничего.
friends approve of your decision,
Это тоже очень важно. Если вам
I think it's
многие
very
люди
important.
говорят,
if there's people telling you
подумай,
that you should
у
think
него
about
есть
it,
проблемы.
there's certain problems,
Подумайте.
then maybe you should think about it.
Посмотрите, что для вас важно вообще в
And
браке.
just look at what's important to you.
Если для вас важно, чтобы человек был в служении,
If it's important for you to, for your future partner to
а для
be in
него
ministry,
нормально опоздать на служение, нормально опоздать на
and
служение,
it's very common for them to be late to service
или вообще пропустить воскресное
or
служение,
to even skip
типа с
services,
вами прогуляться где-нибудь,
kind
да,
of just go on a date or
погулять,
whatever,
в Чарльстон поехать,
go to Charleston or
то
something.
подумайте, надо ли вам
Then
этот человек.
you should think about the decision you're trying to make.
Вот. Ну, и вот такие red flags для меня лично
And these are, my personal
самые,
things,
наверное, главные.
the
Как он
most
с
important
Богом
things.
отношения,
The relationship with God,
как он относится к другим
how he
девочкам.
treats other people or other girls.
Да, даже не обязательно только к вам, он может к вам хорошо относиться.
Not even just towards you, and he might be just behaving good towards you,
Не уважать свою маму или других женщин
but
вокруг.
disrespect his mother and all the other women around him.
Поверьте, вы скоро станете в той же
Then
ситуации.
you believe me that you will be in the same situation that they are.
Поэтому я всегда советую,
Therefore, I always advise,
как мне моя мама советовала,
as my mom advised me,
максимально дружите в компании,
be as much as possible in a friend group
чтобы увидеть, как он поступает вообще в компании.
to see how he behaves within the friend group.
И вам безопасно,
And that'll be much safer for you,
и вы увидите много ситуаций, где как он поступает.
and you'll see many situations on how he behaves.
Это очень хороший совет.
That's very good advice.
Успейте дейт, как там правильно сказать, успейте навстречаться, погуляйте в компании.
You will have time to date, and it's good to be within the
Да.
friend group.
Take your time, guys. Don't just jump into relationship right away. Take your time. As Lena said, just hang out with friends and watch people. Don't, if somebody you like someone, don't hurry up to invite for date. No, don't do that. Take your time, and then you will know and feel the right time to do the next step. But don't hurry up.
Do you have any red flags for a girl to share with the guys? Since we heard the female version, is there a male version of red flags?
Red flags. I mean, it's hard. I mean, when you know, you know. Don't rush into it. One guy once said, he said, you have to start looking for a girl when they're like 14 almost, because when they get to like 16 age or 17, they're already taken, It's like all the good ones are gone. Now we have to, and it's not true. And that's not true. When your mind is in the right place, you will meet one that will be your future spouse, and that will. I believe when you know she's or he's the one, is your person will see you for who you truly are, and actually will see your potential even when you don't see it. You know what I'm saying? Will believe in you even when you're doubting yourself. Will respect you for who you are, and not who she or he wants you to be. I think that's when you know it's the one.
Что я хочу добавить.
What I wanna
Знаете,
add.
есть такая поговорка.
There's this saying,
Для каждой кастрюльки есть своя крышечка. Кто ее слышал?
for each pot there is its own cover.
То, как я на это смотрю,
The way I look at it,
если у вас человек, девочка или мальчик,
if you have a person in your life, boy or girl,
они не переделывают вас.
and they're not trying to change you,
Они вот просто с тобой общаются,
they're talking to you,
и ты им полностью нравишься.
and they
Какие у
like you
тебя
completely.
волосы, какие у тебя
Your
глаза,
hair,
как
your
ты себя
eyes,
ведешь, как ты
how you
отвечаешь.
behave, how you respond.
Значит, это твоя
That means
кастрюлька.
that's your pot,
Чтобы вы были натуральны, чтобы
so that you
вы
could be natural.
там не скрывались,
Don't
или
hide
«Ой, ему это не
anything.
нравится, я это не буду
Don't
делать».
be hidden and don't be behaving in such a way that
Чтобы
he
вы
doesn't like.
были ра. Как ра по-русски? Такие, какие есть.
Thank you. So, what is the longest that we should or can date before marriage?
Alena mentioned already their story, and I would say like this. If you like someone, don't start to date right away. Don't. Just have fellowship, watch each other, pray about it, and the moment you understand and you know that that's a person from God for me, you then do next step. I would advise do it like that. Uh, before you before you propose, come and talk to pastor, because sometimes you see, I know people more than anyone else in the church. I can help you with some advice. After you propose, I would say don't take it more than 6 to 10 months and get married. Don't take it longer than 10 months from proposal to marriage. In our Slavic culture, it does not help. If we take longer, usually it ends up not good. It's from experience, believe me. Maybe Americans, they differently a little bit. They date, go to college, and then 5 years dating each other, and well, sometimes they're dating, sleeping with each other, and then eventually they get married. We don't believe in that. We don't support that. No sleeping before you get married. And so you take your time as long as you can, and when you know that you are ready to get married in all what we've talked before, physically, emotionally, financially, spiritually, you take your time, then you propose, and after propose takes 6 to 8 to 10 months, not more, and you do it.
So, what is okay physically to do in a relationship, Pastor? What is okay to do in a relationship physically?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Hey, who decides how far is too far? Let me ask you a question. Or how to even know how far is too far? You see, it's the same like people asking question about alcohol. Hey, Bible does not teach don't drink at all. But how much is too much? Who will determine the line you can't cross? Who will determine? Maybe for one person, one glass of wine is nothing. For another person, same glass of wine will make him completely drunk. So how can we put the borders and say, yes, one glass of wine is okay? Same here. How can we say, okay, touching, kissing, do everything except sex? How can we say that? Well, for some people, even holding hands will be too much. For other people, it's okay. So, from our experience of being for many years in ministry, guys, I would highly recommend and advise you, don't play with the fire. You see, sexual desire is the strongest desire in our bodies. It's the strongest one. So if you play with that, Solomon is writing, if you put fire in your bosom, and then how many chances it won't burn you? No chances at all. Take fire into your bosom. I mean, it will burn you. If you're playing with sexual temptations, I mean, it will catch you. It will catch you. And I've seen so many young, good people who never intended, never planned to fall into adultery or to commit sins. They didn't plan it. But because they were playing with it, they eventually fall into it. So if you want, as I said, to get it right and do it right, guys, my advice would be to you, don't play with that. Especially when you are not even proposed and moving to the marriage. I mean, first date, man already is hugging, touching, kissing. Come on. And then 1 month later, you break with him, and another one in your life, and he is touching you, kissing you. So it sounds so cheap for me. So cheap. Girls, respect yourself. Girls, respect yourself. Don't be cheap. Believe me, boys don't like cheap girls. Boys don't like girls whom are so easy to get. Respect yourself. And I always tell boys, even when there is a relationship already, and even men propose to girl already, I always tell girl, you will decide how far he will go. You decide. Girl will decide how far boy will go. So respect yourself and don't be cheap. Don't allow everyone, touch you, or every first date touching you already. Run away from such a boy. If he first date he is trying to touch you or kiss you, run away from him. Yeah. So just nothing. I know it doesn't sound fun, but believe me, you will be thankful later.
Dating is for knowing each other, not touching each other, for get to know the person, not to touch. Я недавно в книжке прочитала,
I recently read in a book
что дьявол делает все для того,
that devil does everything in his
чтобы
power
пару затащить в постель,
to take the
до
couple
свадьбы.
into bed
Это
before
серьезно.
marriage.
А потом, после свадьбы, он
after the
делает все
wedding,
для того,
He does everything possible
чтобы они не спали.
so that they would not sleep together.
Это да, вот как пастор сказал, это очень серьезно.
And what Pastor
Очень
said, it's very
серьезно.
serious.
Девчонки, я просто вас призываю, be
Girls,
bold,
I just call you up to be more bold.
say no. Say no. If he likes you, he'll pursue you. If he just wants to touch you, you don't need this guy. Believe me, you don't. So please, be bold, say no.
Well, sometimes man says, well, if you love me, you will let me do so. Tell him, if you love me, never do so until you marry me. Because it's perverted love. When man is telling you, I love you, I won't touch you, kiss you, let's do it, he does not love you. He loves himself. And he wants to get from you as much as he can. So love means waiting till marriage. That's what love means. Real, true love. If there is just lust, and that's it, run from that relationship. Believe me, it will bring you pain, only pain, nothing more. And you don't want that.
Someone has heard that in the past, young men would propose to a girl through their pastor, which seems quite different from how things are done today. What is the best approach to proposing in today's context, and how can faith and community play a role in the process?
I grew up in such a church. Can you believe me?
Straight from
I
experience.
remember I have a sister. She is 3 years older than me. I remember we had a youth meeting, and when some youth came from another town, village, whatever, and one man, I saw him first time, my sister saw him first time, but he was just staying in the corner somewhere and just watching everyone. And then he decided that my sister is the one he wants to marry. He didn't ask her name. He went to pastor, and it was like a sanctuary like this, and there is like window from foyer to sanctuary. And he spoke to pastor and said, that girl, I would like to marry her. Can you talk to her? And pastor called my sister and said, well, that guy, I don't know what's his name, he wants to marry you. And she said, get lost. It used to be like that. And maybe it worked for some people. I'm not saying that it's completely wrong. Maybe it worked for some people that time. We don't do it in our days. It's all completely different. So if it just out of curiosity is this question, or maybe some of you want your marriage to be arranged, I don't know. We can help. If you trust us, you can come to us. Like yesterday, I heard a story like back in Ukraine, one Orthodox priest got 11 boys from one village and 11 girls from another village, and he decided whom should marry whom, and he just brought them to each other, and it worked. Well, it was many years ago, and it was that reality. And nowadays, how we do it? Well, I guess you know how we do it. Just get to know each other, just build relationships, just hang out, just have fellowship, just come to church, just come to youth, just come serve together. I've heard many times when people went on mission trip together, that's even Sergey and Alena's story. In mission trip, it started to kind of sparkle between them. So be around people, hang out with people, have fellowship, build relationship, be friendly. And you'll just, something will start to sparkle between you two. And when you pray about it and you trust God, that's how it's going to happen. So just don't rush, take your time. But we don't do it. We don't do that anymore.
Thank you for clarifying on that.
Хотя хотели бы, я бы договорилась бы.
No.
We could have arranged something.
Договориться с кем-нибудь? Давай, девочки, если надо, вы скажите, мы
If
с
you guys need
мальчиками
help,
поговорим.
We could talk about it.
Некоторые стесняются. It's
Some people are
okay.
just shy,
Мы поможем,
and we'll help you out.
покажем мальчику, скажем, смотри, какая девочка.
We'll kind of point you out to
Хорошо,
them.
вы что, если что, моргните нам.
You know, and you can kind of wink if you
Мы
need help
тихонечко, аккуратненько,
Just-
так,
on a low key.
Don't fall
серьезно.
for that. You
Вы
know,
не слушайте,
the
я
gu-
вам
the
помогу.
guys that Alena's mom were telling her that to look at, they were not good.
Я хороших подскажу.
The next question is, I'm considering marrying someone who's older than me, and what age difference is generally considered acceptable in Christian relationships? Are there any specific insight or experiences you could share regarding this dynamic?
I believe that the great. I mean, we really. I mean, it's not a Bible commandment, but from what we see, it's I think up to 4 years, it works the best. Up to 10 years probably acceptable, but anything after that, I would advise you use caution. Yeah, proceed with great caution.
Я хочу по Библии сказать.
I want to speak
Знаете, в
biblically.
Библии написано, что нужно слушаться старших,
You know,
да?
the Bible says you should listen to your elders.
И моя бабушка, ее
My grandmother,
дедушка старше был на 12 лет,
her grandfather was older than her
и она
by
нам всегда говорила,
12
that's
years
too
old,
much.
her husband. And she said that was too much.
Так что да, 12 it's too much.
So 12 years is too much.
Ну, смотрите, вам просто потом будет сложно.
Look, later on it's going to become hard.
Если муж старше на 10 лет,
If the husband's older by 10 years
и ему, например, уже 50,
and he's 50,
ему будет интересно общаться с людьми, которым 50.
he will be interested into talking
Вам
to
даже
people that
ячейку
are
будет
his
сложно
age.
найти.
You know,
Вот честно. А мне, например, 40.
and for example, I'm 40
Я хочу с 35-летними
and I
еще
want to talk to
общаться, допустим.
35-year-olds,
А ему уже 50.
but he's 50.
И все эти уже еще супер молодые для него.
And all of them are
It's
too
not
young for them.
practical.
And it's just not very
Подумайте.
practical. Just think about
Хотя мы знаем пару,
it. However, we know a couple
когда жена старше на 17 лет,
where the wife is older by 17 years
и они счастливы.
and they're happy.
Но мне лично было
But
бы неудобно, наверное.
Personally, it'd be
Ты же
uncomfortable for
везде
me.
в школе даже пишешь, сколько тебе лет, сколько мужу лет.
You know,
Анкеты все
Even like
заполняешь.
any documents you write, you have to write
И
down
все вот на тебя
your
так будут
birthday and your husband's
смотреть.
birthday. And people look at that.
Короче, это не очень удобно.
It's just not
мне
comfortable.
кажется.
Well, and if, for example, you are 20 and he is 30, well,
Или наоборот.
I don't recommend opposite. I would always recommend that man would be older, a few years older.
Да.
The top is 10. 10 is acceptable, but the best is, I would say, like 3-5 years, not more. It also depends how mature people are. Sometimes man is 20 and he is like mature for 25. Sometimes man is 30 and he is mature like 19. So have to look, see it and understand it. Well, if he's not mature at 30, run away from him. But ask a question also. If he's 30, 35 years old and he's not married, well, what's wrong with him? That's also a good question. What's wrong with him? Also,
Может, у нас здесь такие есть тихо.
also
так
make sure
потише.
that you know about
У
his
нас только
past.
хорошие, да?
Also make sure that you know his past. Because men, when they're 30, 35 years old, they have past. Many of them have past. And make sure if you decide that, for example, you're 23, 25 years old, and he is 34, 35 years old, make sure you know his story and he's honest with you in everything. Because sometimes many surprises can come along the road, and you don't want that. But in general, yeah, just never get married out of desperation. Like I'm 25 or 26 or 27 or 24 or whatever, and I just have to get married, and he's the only one. I better get married. Don't do that. It's not. You won't build a happy marriage if you just married out of desperation or because just your parents make pressure on you. Come on, it's time. You have to get married already. No. Be wise. Be wise.
I wanted to lead us into a deeper question, but I scrolled down to the one that says, is it okay that I have a deep desire for romance? It's not obsessive or needy, but the desire is there. You know, not just a normal relationship where you just live together, but the one where the guy treats you very sweetly and takes care of you, wanting to feel seen.
Long question.
Is it okay? This person is longing for a relationship, and is it okay to have such desires? They're not.
To have desires.
They're
of
not
course it's
obsessive or
okay.
needy. There we go. Yes.
I mean, of course.
She wants romance. I'm assuming it's a girl, you know. And girls are more romantic than boys, you know. I was hoping, and my hope came through that Alena is not gonna tell a story of how I proposed to her, which good thing
we
she
want to
didn't.
hear it now.
It's not romantic, so that's why we don't have. But there's nothing wrong with being romantic. I mean, why not? I mean, be romantic. Even if you're a guy, you want to be romantic. Why not? Be romantic. You know, bring flowers. You know, cupcakes or whatever. You know, whatever makes you romantic. You know, the feeling is good. You know, it's just what are you gonna do with those feelings? You know, just don't start like going to previous questions. Start using your hands out of order and all that kind of stuff. But, if you want to bring your girl flowers, or if you girl and you want to bring your boy flowers, if he likes it that way, I don't know. I don't get it, but maybe somebody does.
Bring boy some steak, I guess.
Hey, bring boy some steak, or whatever, burger. So nothing wrong with that. I mean, we all people, we like to be cherished, right? And we like to be loved. We like when people give us attention.
Мне просто кажется, что если девочка сильно романтик,
I just feel like that if a girl is too much of a romance,
то, скорее всего, ей попадется мальчик вообще не романтик.
then most likely she's not gonna get a guy that is
И тебе,
super
девочка,
romantic.
придется все время эту романтику самой делать.
And most of the time, you're gonna have to be the one making the romance.
Не знаю, я так замечала в семьях.
That's what I noticed in families.
Мы вдвоем это как 100%.
You know, us together, it's 100%.
So, если я на 90% романтик,
So if I'm 90% romantic,
то, скорее всего, он будет только на 10%
then most likely
романтик.
he's a 10% romance.
Если я улыбаюсь на 90%,
If I'm smiling 90% of the
то,
time,
скорее всего, он только 10%.
then he's most likely going to be 10%.
Но это так вот, я замечала много
But that's
раз.
just something that I've observed and
Поэтому,
noticed.
если вы романтик,
Therefore, if you're a romance,
не факт, что вам мужчина попадется
it's
романтик.
not a fact
Поэтому
that you're going to get a guy who's a romance.
попробуйте эту романтику восполнить с подружками, какие-то собраться парей сделать.
Therefore, try to do it like in a party or.
And romance for man and for woman sounds different, guys. What is romantic for girl may be not at all romantic for man. So also keep it in mind. That's why you need to read couple books about him or her, about woman and man, just to see how God created them differently. It will help also. Like one book is by John Hagee, I guess. No, maybe not John Hagee. He is from Mars, she is from Venice. Good book. It's like man and woman from different planets. And yeah, you can read it just to get an idea of how different God created man and woman. So what is romantic for girls may be not romantic for boys at all. But just girls, for your desire to get romantic, as I said, don't kind of become so like easy to get, or he paid little bit attention to you, oh, you melted, you're ready to run after him like till end of the years. So sometimes this, if need for romantic or for love is such a big inside of person, maybe he just needs even sometimes inner healing, because there is a void inside which was never filled, maybe with father's love or with parents' love, or maybe some rejection was there, and person is looking for love everywhere. I've read statistics why girls, they fall into men, they sleep with men around because they never had right, healthy relationship with their fathers. Never. That's why they're always kind of looking for men's approval and men's love. And they're ready kind of to do everything to get it. So in such case, you need to find God's love first. You need to get inner healing inside. So you won't try to get that attention by any means, by all price, and to do whatever just to get it. Yeah, just try to maybe talk to some ministers, to some caregivers, talk to some woman in church, yeah. Look for help maybe. That's why we need each other, just to advise each other, to support each other. That's why we're here, to share some experience. Because, yeah, we live the life and we have kids ourselves. And, yeah, we can be a blessing. I mean, generations can be a blessing to each other.
I hope all of you are writing down the books and the quotes that they're saying. Did you have something to add?
Но все, что я хотела сказать,
All I
парни,
wanted
если
to
вы,
say
когда вы
was,
дружите с девчонкой,
boys, if you're dating or talking to a girl,
если вы ее водите в дорогие рестораны,
if you're taking her to
дарите
expensive
ей красивые
restaurants,
букеты,
and you give her beautiful bouquets,
вы должны это продолжать после свадьбы.
you're going to have to keep doing that after the wedding.
Что я заметила, что
What I noticed,
парни засыпают девчонками подарками. Засыпают девчонками.
they flood the woman with presents and gifts,
А после свадьбы ничего.
and after the wedding it stops.
Она уже ваша, и она
She's
только
already yours,
ваша.
and she's only yours.
Treat her like a queen.
Ну, уже ж надо деньги беречь. Уже ж общий
You also have
бюджет.
to be wise with your money.
Кстати, когда мы поженились,
Also, when we got married,
we were so poor, but we were so happy. И когда он мне заказывал букеты
and
дорогие,
whenever he ordered expensive bouquets,
я его ругала.
I would go off at him.
Я говорю, иди в Safeway и покупай мне розы for $9.99. I'm
Go to
okay.
Safeway and buy me roses for $9.99.
I wanna go to Bora Bora, but I am pura.
Okay, we're gonna get back to questions that are similar to the previous ones, but I do want to allocate more time to the deeper questions and more serious ones. As a survivor of a child sexual abuse who has gone through healing and forgiveness, I'm considering how to share my path with my future bride. Should I have this conversation with her directly, or is it more appropriate to discuss it during premarital counseling? I would appreciate insight from both the pastors and the premarital counselors on how to approach this in the way that builds trust and understanding.
Say first part of the question again, please.
As a survivor of child sexual abuse who has gone through healing and forgiveness, I'm considering how to share my path with my future bride. Should I have this conversation with her directly, or is it more appropriate to discuss it during premarital counseling?
Uh, I, when couple comes to me like after proposal, I always have a conversation with them, and I have a list of questions I'm going through. One of the question is, do you have any secrets between you two? Do you have something which he should know or she should know, but you still did not tell it to each other? You see, there is especially sexual area, you can't hide anything because because it's not honest and fair towards other person. If you've been abused, like, or you had like sex before you was saved, or even being in church, but you had the wrong relationship and it ended up by having sex, and then you was healed, like went through the process, God restored you, you're okay, and you are ready to enter into another relationship, and you met that man, you feel like you love each other. You start talking about like marriage, wedding, you need to find the right moment when and be vulnerable with each other and open your past. I'm not talking about details like all the spicy things like no. But in general, you tell the truth. Yes, I'm not virgin anymore. Yes, I had a man in my life. I had sex with men already. It's not something to be proud of, but that's how it is. That's how I am already. I can't change my past. But God forgave me. I ask for forgiveness. If you are ready to accept and love me as I am, then we can continue our relationship. Because if there is some secrets before you got into marriage, guys, one day it will come up anyway. And it will destroy the trust, it will bring a lot of pain, a lot of offense, and it may even destroy a marriage. Especially with girls, if you're not virgin, it will be revealed on the first night after you got married. So it's not good to start your relationship with secrets. But at the same time, don't tell it to first man you meet. You start to share or open or become vulnerable with the person you are talking about marriage already with. If you're just friends, random friends, just hanging out together, no intentions yet to move towards wedding, toward marriage, you don't talk about it yet, don't tell it to everyone. Not every man in the church or should know that what past you have. No, not every man should know. But if it's your man already and you're talking about marriage, or it's your girl already, you're talking about marriage, you better be honest, guys. It will build trust between you two. And many times when I talk to couple like this, they tell me, yes, we told already to each other about our mistakes. Yes, I had sex. Yes, she had sex. I often hear that. But they say, we love and accept each other as we are, as she is, as he is. And when people are honest from the beginning, God honors that, God blesses that, and usually, people able to build good marriage.
But if you've been sexually abused or molested when you were a child, there is a very good book. It's called The Wounded Heart. Actually, I want kind of all of you to write it down. It's very important. It's a very good book because a lot of times people get married and they've been molested or sexually assaulted or raped when they were children. This book will really help you, or girls or boys. if you know anybody, like your sister, your friend, who's been molested or raped, you can actually read that book and you can help your friend or your sister or brother. It's a very good book, so I kind of encourage you, all of you read it. And if somebody open up to you, tell them about that book. It's a white book. There are few ones actually with the same name, but this one is The Wounded Heart, not just Wounded Heart, but The Wounded Heart. It's like a white book with like a little red heart on it. So I encourage all of you to read it or at least have it, you know, for somebody else. Because in a marriage, if you never been healed, it's gonna bring you a lot of damage in your marriage. So yeah, and we all here to help you. Girls, always welcome. Come to me. Always welcome to text me. I'm open to help, and I believe Lena too. Guys, I know, guys, you've been molested too. You've been raped too. Some of you. So I'm more than sure, Pastor and Serge, they're open for you.
One thing quickly I want to add to it. If your future husband or wife or somebody you're dating opened up to you about their past, please be honorable. If you decide not to continue a relationship with that person, please be honorable and then don't spread the rumors about it. Just keep it between your two of you and bury it there, you know. You can choose whether you want to continue a relationship or break it, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's your choice, but be honorable and don't spread the rumors.
We will try to get all the book and podcast recommendations from them and post it on Instagram and Band if you guys haven't written them down. But our next question is, should couples consider undergoing medical checkout before marriage to access their reproductive health and discuss potential challenges regarding having children in the future? What role do you think this plays in building a strong foundation for marriage?
Well, that's another question one I always ask when young people come to me after a proposal usually. I ask general question, are you guys healthy as far as you know? And then I tell them what I mean. There is 3 areas. First, are you healthy sexually? So are you able to have sex with your future husband or wife? That's first question. Second question, any chronic diseases or sicknesses? And third question, are you both able to reproduce or to conceive a child and give a life? So these 3 questions I always ask. As far as you know, I don't recommend to go for special checkup, but sometimes people know if there is a problem, people know about it. And I had a case, like a couple came to me, even before they came, his father called me, was begging me, Pastor, please stop this relationship, destroy this marriage, destroy their plans, please. I said, explain me. He said, she is not healthy. And when they came to me, both of them, and the girl was a nice girl, and when we started to talk, she said, well, we met each other, he started to pursue me. I told him on the first date, I have arthritis, but in sleeping mode. There is sometimes disease in sleeping mode in your body. She said, I have arthritis in sleeping mode. Nobody knows when it will wake up. I can be disabled by 30 years old, or I can be disabled by 70 years old. Nobody knows. I told him that on the first date, and I asked him, do you still want to continue this relationship? And he said, yes. And his dad got crazy. He wanted to destroy that relationship. And I asked him again, are you ready to accept her and love her as she is? He said, yes. Are you ready to continue to love her if she'll become disabled by 30 years old? He said, yes. And parents been against, but they said yes, and I married them. It was like 4 or 5 years ago. They live in Charlotte. I don't follow them, but as far as I know, they still husband and wife. And yeah. So I don't ask people to go for special checkup, but as far as you know, are you healthy? That's what I always ask. And usually people honest, because I always tell, if for example you can't conceive and you know that, it's not honest. It's not fair even, because man is expecting to have children, or sometimes man is not able to make his wife pregnant, and he knows that, and he's just keeping it silent because he loves her and he wants to marry her, but she wants kids, and it's not fair. Because so if you know, you tell each other, and then you choose if you continue a relationship or not. But you better, you must tell, as far as you know.
Pastor, you went into the next question that asked if you officiated a wedding where both sets of parents were not willing or unable to attend. How do you approach that situation? And what advice would you offer to help them cope with any emotional challenges?
They were not able to attend because of some circumstances, or they did not want to attend because they against that marriage.
I think both. They're saying parents weren't able or unwilling.
Well, if they can't because of circumstances, I guess you just have to understand if there is really serious circumstances, you forgive them and they still will give you support and give you money and whatever, you just bless them and ask some close friends to support you in all that your special day. If parents against your marriage, I had it a few times in my experience. You see, you need to talk to your parents and try them to be honest with you why they don't like that guy or that girl. You see, sometimes there is red flags and parents are trying to tell you, hey, look, this boy, he's not working. He's talking too much, but he's lazy, he's not working. It won't be easy for you in life, and mom or dad trying to kind of show you red flags, or like he's rude with his mom, or he's very like spiritually, he's very
Explosive or short-tempered.
very short-tempered, and just so if your parents they're trying to show you red flags about that person, try to listen to them and be objective. But what happens sometimes, that parents, they have their own idea of how my daughter's future husband should look like, for example, or how my son's future wife should look. And then parents, he's a good boy or good girl, but parents, they just against because it's not what they decided. And we had like a few years ago in our church situation when a girl, she fell in love with a boy, but her dad, he had another man in his mind for that girl. And he really was mad and angry, and he did everything he could to destroy a relationship of his daughter with that man. Eventually, she just ran away from the house and went to live in that area where he lived. And they got married, and he had to bless them eventually. But he just had a guy in his mind from church. He wanted his daughter to marry that guy. So it was not red flags there or nothing. He just didn't like the guy. And you just need to talk to your parents to find out the reason why he is going against your choice, or your parents going against your choice, and see why. If there is really red flags, try to listen to your parents, maybe ask you and your friends what they think about it. Don't rush into relationship if there is many red flags. But if parents just don't like because they have another idea of who should be your husband or wife, or maybe they have friends and friends have daughter and parents already arranged marriage, and then now you destroy the plans, it's not fair. Parents should not try to live their interests through their children. It's not honest, it's not fair. So in that case, you just continue to pursue the relationship, be respectful to parents, but you say, I love you, I respect you, but I want to continue in that relationship because it's my life. I'm going to live with that person, not you guys. And it's good also to come, if there is conflict between you and parents, to come and talk to ministers in the church, and that's why we are here to help. Ministers in the church, pastors, we are here to help, guys.
That's a good one. Thank you, Pastor.
I want to add something, Ken.
Go ahead.
All right. So, getting into your head that a parent's blessing is very, very important for your life. Their blessing will bring a lot of good things into your life. So pursue it by all means. Don't just brush them off. Oh, our parents, they're old, they don't understand, we live in a new time. Don't brush it off. Pursue your parents' blessing because it's very important. And for guys that are pursuing a girl, pursue her parents too. Come.
Mother-in-law.
A mother-in-law, yeah. Or if you're a guy trying to pursue a girl, make sure, you come to her dad and shake his hand once in a while, say, hello, sir, how are you doing? Everything all right? Anything I can help you with? But, you see what I'm saying? I mean, you can win friends by simple gesture, by simple hello, how are you? Can I help you? You're a great dad to your daughter. Your daughter always speaks so highly about you, or the other way around. You see, you can win friends, or you can win parents. But if you come out, all that, it's like boasted up. Oh, I'm this cool dude, and you guys are old. You know nothing. Then yeah, obviously they're gonna tell their daughter, and this guy's no good. Run away from him.
Always remember that we parents, we love you and we want the best for you, the best. So always keep that in mind, because we're the ones who, we're not jealous, we don't hate you, we love you, and we want the best for you. So just listen to us, please.
Like
Violet.
in California, Alena mentioned that couple when he was 27 and she was 43. And when he came to his parents and said, well, I'm going to marry that woman, they said, never, we're not going to bless you. He came to Pastor Alex Shevchenko, said, are you going to marry us? He said, no. Then they just came to parents and said, well, we're going to marry each other anyway, with you or without you, with your blessing or without your blessing. And they said the same to Pastor. So when parents and pastors saw that they're determined and they're not going to change their mind, parents blessed and pastor married them. And 10 years later, they still have family, gave birth to a child. And I mean, it was their choice. And parents, I'm sure I would say the same on the place of that parents, of course. But if you see that he is determined or she is determined, and you better, I would advise parents, you better bless than ignore wedding or not to come to wedding or whatever. You better bless and pray and wish them the best eventually.
Thank you. Have you ever encountered a situation in which one or both partners in the couple were raised in an orphanage or adopted by a Christian family? How do you approach counseling and supporting those couples as they prepare for marriage?
У нас есть личный пример.
We have a personal example.
У нас есть Вика.
We have Victoria.
Наша дочка, она незаконно, по закону, но она жила с нами как дочка наша.
She's
Мы
like an
замуж ее выдавали.
adopted child, and she got married already.
И она выросла в интернате.
And she grew up in our household.
И замечательная
Orphanage.
Замечательная семья.
And it's a wonderful family.
И вы никогда по ней в жизни не скажете, что она с интерната.
And never looking into her life, you can tell that she grew up in an orphanage.
Но в то же время
But at the same time,
я знаю, что интернат, дети, которые выросли в интернате,
I know that orphan child, the children,
у многих из них не было примера хорошего.
many of them did not have any good examples.
У них не было родителей, которые бы показывали им жизнь в семье.
They didn't have parents who would show them what a family life is like.
И, к сожалению, эти дети, когда вырастают и женятся,
And unfortunately, whenever these children grow up and get married,
они разводятся, потому что они не знают, как строить семью.
they end up divorced because they don't know how to build a family.
Поэтому, наверное, мой совет,
Therefore, my advice,
если парень или девушка выросли в интернате,
if the boy or the girl grew up in an orphanage,
то найти какую-то семью,
then to find a family
может, даже в которой пожить можно было бы,
in order for which they can live
или
in,
хотя бы быть у них на выходных или
or at
на
least visit
праздниках,
them for weekends or holidays,
и попросить их, помоги мне,
and ask
как,
them to help.
что такое в семье расти,
What is it like growing up in a
что
family?
такое ответственность в семье,
What is it like to have a responsibility in a family?
посмотреть, что же это за жизнь в семье, потому что
just
это немножко сложно.
Look what the life is like within the family, because it is difficult.
Well, often when people grow up in orphanages, they are rejected, and they need inner healing. And if you grew up, for example, you grew up in an orphanage, make sure that before you start any relationship, you get that inner healing first. You just find your value in God, you have peace in God, you just get that inner healing. And once you have that inner healing, and you make sure you don't have bitterness or unforgiveness towards some people, maybe your parents who left you in that orphanage. Once you know that no unforgiveness, no bitterness, you're okay inside, you're healed inside, so all the rest is like any other person. We talked already about preparation. But the biggest question is that you get inner healing and there is no unforgiveness and bitterness in your heart. And as Lena said, it's good to be friend with a healthy family and just watch how healthy family works. Like 2 girls lived in our house, and Lena was teaching them how to wash dishes, how to clean house, how to do like basic things, and they've been learning that. And
Заставляли их даже делиться какими-то вещами, конфетами,
We made them
например,
even share either certain items, clothes, or food,
или в огород вспахивать.
or to plow
Вы, наверное,
the
вообще такое
yard,
не знаете. Траву копать.
digging up the
Ну,
grass.
ладно.
But
Даже не знаю, как вам объяснить. Газон, да? Ну, да. Короче, не жили вы в наше время.
If you guys lived back in our
Лаки.
times,
Бураки не пололи, да? Не знаешь даже, как перевести, да? Ладно, it's okay. Хорошо вам.
Quick fun question. How do you guys move past an argument or disagreement?
Кулаками? Ой, шутка. Не
There's
шутка.
no disagreement in
with the
marriage.
fist. It's a joke.
No, I mean, it's inevitable. The disagreement will be there when you get married, that don't get into a confusion of when we get married, everything's going to be nice, we're never going to have a fight, we're never going to have you will. We had our first one when, like, 4th day or 5th day on our honeymoon.
months that we were dating, we fought zero, like no argument. So I truly believed when we get married, we'll never have any arguments. Believe it or not, honeymoon, first argument.
Yeah, and it was my fault, obviously. But yeah, just learn how to admit your part of it, because it always takes two. It's never just his or her fault. Learn how to say sorry, because say, please forgive me. I was wrong. Learn how to agree to disagree sometimes, because like Alena said before, that men and girls and boys are created differently. We're different species. We think differently. We act differently. We do things differently. But when we pair together, we're something that God created, to be happy. So learn how to respect each other. And if you do have a disagreement, when you do have a disagreement, because you will, just try to come out alive, I guess, and then you'll learn along the way.
Man, just be ready. That doesn't matter what you say, you're always wrong.
True. Но на самом деле,
But truly,
из-за чего бывают ссоры какие-то?
why do certain conflicts even happen?
Где-то не пободрствовали.
It's somewhere where you were not on guard.
Может, просто настроение
Maybe
плохое.
you're just in a bad mood.
Потому что когда хорошее настроение,
Because oftentimes when you're in a good mood,
обычно я перевожу в шутку. Да?
and I usually transfer it to a joke.
А если настроение плохое, то хочется ответить некрасиво,
And if I'm in a
неправильно.
bad mood, then I want to say something
Но такое
in a rude
редко,
way.
конечно, бывает.
And it rarely occurs.
I was calling her angel from the beginning.
Yes, так и
And when I
было.
shared with one of my teachers in England, I introduced her and said, she's my angel, and I'm gonna marry her. And he said, before you marry her, make sure she's not fallen angel.
Но видите, написано в Библии: останови
In the
ссору,
Bible it says that you should, preventing or stopping an argument
прежде чем она как-то там разгорится. Да.
before it explodes.
То есть мы, каждый из нас, можем остановить ссору вовремя.
Each and every single one of us can stop an argument at a right time.
Или наоборот, подлить масло в огонь.
Or oftentimes we could add fuel to the fire.
Поэтому что важно?
So what is important?
Научиться правильно задавать вопрос.
To learn how to properly ask the question.
Неправильный вариант.
Or
Сколько ты потратила денег?
a question of how much money did you spend?
Правильно.
And the
Поставить вопрос.
right way to ask that question.
Что ты
Ask,
приобрела сегодня?
what have you gained today?
Смотрите, вопрос, смысл одинаковый,
So the concept is the same,
а жена по-разному воспримет сразу же, да?
but the wife will receive it differently,
Или муж.
or the husband.
Когда ты уже мусор-то вынесешь?
When will you take out the trash?
Или, а не мог бы ты, дорогой, вынести мусор, пожалуйста?
Would you perchance be
Смотрите.
able to take out the trash, my dear one?
Научитесь задавать вопросы
You got to learn how
правильно.
to ask questions properly.
Подумайте перед тем, как задать вопрос.
Think before you ask a
Как
question.
сказать так,
How do you say it in such a
чтобы
way
человек не обиделся, не
so that the
обидеть его?
person would not take offense?
Потому что порой даже наш вопрос, и мы уже...
Because oftentimes it's just a question,
Ты
and
что,
from that
имеешь
moment
в виду,
on,
что я неряха? Или там грязнуля?
you start jumping to conclusions.
То есть порой из-за неправильного вопроса мы уже поссорились.
Usually times because of the way you ask the questions, there's already an argument.
Вот. И если вдруг все-таки ссора возникла,
And if there is an argument that happens,
можно сказать, мне срочно надо в туалет.
you got to say, I urgently need to go to the
Пошел в
bathroom.
туалет, подумала, помолилась, Господь, дай
You go to the
мудрости.
restroom and then you
Как же
you
мне
pray, you
теперь
cool off,
выкрутиться
and you ask
назад?
for wisdom.
Все, пришла, смирилась,
and you humbled yourself,
покаялась,
you repented,
попросила прощения.
asked for forgiveness,
Но на самом деле,
but truly,
сколько я замечала,
oftentimes I noticed,
столько времени мы тратим, если вот поссорились и не помирились сразу.
there's so much wasted time that happens if we
Зачем?
don't reconcile after an argument.
Лучше помириться сразу и не
It's
тратить
much better for you
впустую
to
день.
come together right away than just waste that time,
Потому что жизнь наша летит очень
because
быстро.
our life flies by.
И вообще, какая разница, если кто из нас прав, если жена плачет?
And what
А жена плачет.
what does it matter for you if you're
Sometimes
right
I'm
but your
like,
wife
man, I
is
wish
crying?
I can cry like that. Yeah? She wins every argument, it's like start showing tears.
Девочки, вам совет. Плачьте.
Man, and advice for you, every argument finish, you're right, honey.
Buy it.
Well, guys, in every argument, talk about it. If you don't talk, just get offended. It will take time and it will get deeper and hearts will become harder. Talk about problem. If you're able to talk about it, you'll get it through. If you just shut yourself and you're ignoring each other and you don't want to work on the problem and resolve the problem, your heart will become harder and harder. We made a rule for ourselves that even before we got married, that we will never go to the bed being in conflict, and we will never talk about divorce in our family. Well, sometimes we did. I'm not saying that we're perfect. Sometimes we broke that rules. Well, we never talk about divorce, I guess. We never talk about divorce. But we went to bed.
Убить, да, да, как шутка.
Divorce, no. Kill, yes. That's what Billy Graham's wife told about their marriage. Yeah. So, yeah, we went to bed a few times. We broke that rule. But next day, we worked it out anyway. It was never that it took few days for us to get over argument. Usually on next day we did it. But mostly we do it the same day.
Thank you, guys. Before we move on, we do have more questions, and we are looking at the time, but we're going to go into our fellowship time because there's so much good insight and wisdom coming from here. We will try to hurry up a little bit, but we do want to get to all the questions. So, Pastor, what does it mean to become one in marriage?
To become one is being intimate with each other, I believe, and it starts with sex, but it does not end with sex, guys. Yes, when Bible said, and they will become one, yes, it's being intimate with each other, and it starts with sex and marriage, but it does not end with sex. You have to be one spiritually, you have to be one emotionally. You open yourself to each other, your souls, your emotions, your bank account, your passwords from phones and computers, no secrets from each other, no walls between you two, and you are the closest friends on the planet. If there is some friends more important to you than your spouse, something is wrong. If man saying, well, I'm going to ribulk or going to catch some fish with my man, I don't care what you think about it, it's wrong. Or if girl's more important for a wife than her husband, it's not right. You are the best friends and you are the most important person for each other on this planet. No parents, no friends, nobody. You two are the closest and best friends. And to be one, it's not just in sex, as I said. It's in all areas of your life. You are going together in life. It's just no secrets. It's just прозрачность, как слово?
Transparency.
Transparency between you two. And there is intimacy, not just on the sexual level, it's intimacy of your souls, intimacy of your spirits. It's much deeper than just sex. Because many couples, they have sex, but they kind of far away from each other. They just have sex, that's it. So to be one, it starts with sex, as I said, but it does not finish with sex. You take it much deeper in all areas of your life. When there is unity in the house, not like two people living in two different worlds. And believe me, there are so many families. You come into the house and you understand there is two different worlds in this house. Man is living his life, woman is living her life. Sometimes different friends have different purposes in life, different values, no unity, no intimacy between them two. And you can feel that.
Thank you. Next question. What age is the best to start dating at? When did you guys start dating?
Excuse me. The best age to start dating is when you're ready to get married now. If you're not ready to be married now at the first day that you're thinking about starting dating, you're not ready to date. So if you're 14 years old, 15 years old, 16 years old, 17, still illegal, wait until you're 18.
Please finish high school.
Yeah, at least for girls. For boys, there's more required of you guys. So until you have money for the wedding, don't even think about dating. Not requirement, but suggestion, I guess. So 18 plus, I don't know. We started dating, I was 21. No, 22. I was almost 22. Yeah, and yeah, I think it was a great age. Although my sister, she got married very young. She was 18, and I guess my daughter followed my sister's footsteps. And her husband was 19, so they got married very young. And for me, when I saw that, I was a younger brother. I'm like, okay, so I'll get married at 19. Well, thank God I didn't, because I was not that smart at 19. Even at 23, I wasn't that smart, and I'm still getting there. Hopefully one day I'll say that I'm a very wise guy. Maybe I won't. But you see what I'm saying? I mean, like Pastor said before, some people they mature faster. You know, maybe at 18 he's already much smarter and more progressive than some 25 or 30 years old. You have to look at the situation where you're at. Why do you want to date? You know, for us, I think we share the same opinion. We start dating to get married, not just to fool around.
Just enjoy your youth, girls. Раньше 20 там делать нечего.
Don't do anything before
Enjoy your
20.
youth.
Спейте все,
Enjoy
не
your friends,
переживайте.
yes.
Спейте.
You guys will have time to get there.
Hey, guys, let me show you a picture. Every relationship you have, if you have a relationship for the sake of relationship. Girl, for example, you're like a rose, and you go date one boy, you give him one, как лепесток сказать.
Pedal.
You give him one petal. Then you go relationship, kind of dating with another. You're giving him another petal. Then you're dating another. And by the time you get married, there is no petals, just thorns left. You see what I mean? Only ствол, или как там?
The stem.
Only stem with thorns. That's all your future husband will get if you'll waste yourself to different men and they start to date for the sake of dating. Don't waste your time, your money, your emotions, your inner energy even, don't waste. If you are not ready to get married, as Serge said, today, don't even start and consider that. Just have fun. Together, relationship. Take your time, watch each other, plan about it maybe. As Lena said, girls choose. But girls choose wisely. They choose like Stroyaglaski. They choose. And then men they hook. But still take time. And when you're mature enough and time will come, you will do it.
So if we can't come to you and say, I like her, I like him, can you tell them that? How do we meet people?
You go and be where people are. You meet people where people are. Don't sit at home and they say, I'm so miserable, I feel so bad for myself, and then you don't go anywhere. Well, go where people are. I always tell youth, go to youth conferences, go to youth meetings, go sometimes even to other churches' conferences or some inter-churches meetings, go to Sunday services, go to a place where people are. If you don't go anywhere and you kind of feel sorry for yourself, well, that's not how you're gonna meet good people. You go where people are.
There is a cafe 1-to-1 where a lot of Christian boys and girls hang out. So, yeah.
А вообще служите в каком-то служении обязательно.
But I believe that you should be involved in
И
ministry,
вас заметят
and you will
те,
be
кому надо.
noticed.
Делайте что-то.
And God will honor
Do
you
something.
when you serve
Даст вам самого лучшего.
and bring
That's
the
the
right
best.
person.
Join a ministry today.
Join.
Ladies, how should a Christian girl view relationship in her singleness? Can we have crushes, and how do we know when we're actually getting pursued?
To have crushes, it's very good. My 8-year-old Blanca, she has crushes, and she likes boys, and that's good, you know. She doesn't like girls, but she likes boys, and it's good, you know. So it's normal to have crushes. And I always would ask my daughter Violet, who is 60 now.
Oh.
I'm like, so who do you like? And she's like, no one. I'm like, that's a lie. When I was your age, I at least liked 2 or 3 guys. It doesn't mean I went out with them. I just like them, and it's normal. So girls, it's normal to have crushes.
Я всегда советую,
I always advise.
если, я так себя вела.
That's how I behaved. At
Если
least.
мне кто-то нравился с мальчиков,
If I liked somebody out of
я
the
никому не
boys,
говорила,
I didn't tell nobody,
даже своим подружкам,
even to my girlfriends,
потому что, может, он мне через 2 месяца перенравится.
because maybe in 2 months
Мне
I'll
надо
stop
что им
liking
теперь
him.
рассказывать, что он теперь мне не нравится.
You know, now I gotta tell them that I
Зачем?
don't like him.
Я
You know,
всё в
it's like,
себе
why do you do
хранила.
that? I just kept it within myself,
И всегда молилась.
and I always prayed,
Господь, если это мой человек,
Lord, if this is my person,
пусть чувства к нему увеличиваются.
may the feelings towards him
А если
grow.
нет, то пусть уходят.
But if not, then may these
так и
feelings wither.
происходило.
And that's how it always happened.
Интересно, что когда я встретила Диму,
You know, an interesting thing is when I met
мы знали друг друга
Dima,
3 года.
we knew each other for
Мы
3
еще
years.
молодые были, мне 17 было, когда мы познакомились.
We were young. I was 17 when we met.
Мы не были в одной церкви,
We were not in the same church.
мы даже были в разных городах,
We were actually in different
и у нас
cities.
не было телефонов,
And we had no phones.
и у нас не было Инстаграма
And we had no
подсмотреть.
Instagram.
То мы иногда встречались компаниями.
Then oftentimes we would see each other in the company.
И я вот очень хорошо помню тот момент.
And I remember this moment very well.
Мы сидели в компании и общались,
We were sitting in the friend group
и я
talking.
посмотрела на него
And I looked at him
и подумала,
and I
нет,
thought to myself,
не хочу за него замуж.
no, I don't want to marry
Он мне
him.
не предлагал еще даже.
And he wasn't even
Но я
offering
для
me
себя
anything.
подумала,
But for
почему
myself,
так.
I thought,
И продолжала молиться.
you know, and I kept praying.
А потом такая, нет, все-таки, наверное,
And
пускай
then,
делает.
all of a sudden, I kind of started being convinced.
Знаете, что самое прикольное?
And you know what's interesting?
Когда он уезжал в Англию учиться,
When he was leaving to England
позвал
to
меня в
school,
Макдональдс.
he invited me to McDonald's,
Это был самый крутой ресторан.
and that was considered a very cool
Купил
restaurant.
мне милкшейк
He got me a milkshake,
и говорит,
and he told me,
я уезжаю на год учиться,
I'm leaving for a year for
в
school
Англию.
to England.
Ты свободна,
You are free.
можешь замуж выходить.
You
Я
can get
такая,
married.
не, нормально. Нет, чтобы предложить мне замуж.
You know,
Я бы
instead
ждала.
of proposing to me,
Он мне не сказал вообще, типа,
he
не надо,
pretty
не
much
жди меня.
rejected me.
Но интересно, что он улетел,
But interesting thing is he left.
и мы молились, и он молился, и я молилась.
He prayed just as I did,
И мы в одну неделю
and at the same week,
написали друг другу письма.
we sent each other letters.
И так у нас началась переписка,
And that's how we started
и у нас
talking to
есть
each
целая
other.
пачка писем.
We have an entire stack of
Это очень
letters.
романтично.
Very romantic.
Я записывала каждое движение свое, где я была, что я делала,
I was writing down every single thing where
чтобы
I
было
was, what I
потом
was
в письмах
doing,
что писать.
so that I would have something to
Потому что
write
он
down
мне
in
писал
the letters.
проповеди,
Because he would write me letters,
а я проповеди не
sermons,
умела писать.
but I did not know how to write
Поэтому я ему
sermons.
описывала свои события.
Therefore, I was writing to
Вот.
him
И так у
everything
нас
that I was doing.
наша любовь выросла в этих письмах.
And that's where our love grew in these letters.
Вот, поэтому, если вам кто-то нравится,
Therefore, if you like
не
somebody,
надо сразу бежать и всем об этом
you
рассказывать.
don't need to go run around telling everybody about it.
Подождите.
You know, hold on for a second.
Пускай все вызреет.
Let it.
Может, вы
ripe up.
заметите, как мальчик на вас реагирует.
You will notice how the guy is starting to
И
respond towards you,
постепенно перерастет в что-то больше.
and then potentially it'll grow
Маме
into
можно
something bigger.
сказать? Маме.
Я
Маме.
даже маме не говорила,
I
но
didn't even tell my mom.
мои девочки, говорите мне. А можете
Girls,
не
I want
говорить.
to add one point. If you're at the age and like you are ready to date, and some guy he asks you out just to a restaurant or to talk to for a coffee, give him a chance. Give him a chance. You never know, because you know sometimes we put such high standards for guys that they're not reachable. You know, we all have our flaws. Nobody's perfect. Just give him a chance. Just one date. And you'll feel right away if he might be or he's not for sure, you know. Just give a guy a chance, let him shine.
Hello. Boys sometimes say, well, I tried to invite for date or to kind of pursue relationship. Don't invite for date if you don't have that inner confidence that there is something between you two. Sometimes boys did not build anything yet, but they want already date, and then they get rejected and they kind of feel bad about it. I always knew if that girl likes me or not. I always knew that. I mean, in my youth. I always knew that. I would never do next step if I would not be sure enough that that girl likes me. So guys, be wise. Be wise.
Next one. Why are men in this generation not pursuing women?
One. Why do we have that idea that they're not? I think there still are, no? Men, say amen, say something, say something. Yeah.
Свадеб у нас много, значит,
We have many
всё-таки.
weddings, so I think we're fine with that.
Well, in general, there is a problem. There is a problem. I mean, maybe times have changed, but man, be more brave. Be more brave. Or I don't know, maybe men, they become, well, sometimes men, they had bad experience before they got rejected, and they have that fear, and they kind of afraid to start relationship or to pursue a girl because he's afraid to be rejected again. Like I have a friend, he living in Kansas, he is 60 years old already, American guy. And when I met him first time, he was 30 years old. And by 30 years old, he had 3 engagement destroyed. He was engaged to a girl, then girl said no. He was engaged to another girl, she said no. he was engaged to another girl, and she said no. And when I asked him, are you planning to get married? He said, well, I have a fear already that if I'll try to pursue another girl, she'll reject me too. And he's 60 years old and he never got married. So one of the problems, yes, had bad experience and just afraid to do it again. Well, get healed, get over it, and just be a man. Another problem, when men become so self-loved and so selfish, they kind of decide that they're poop of the yours.
Pope of the earth.
Poop of yours, yeah. How you say it, I don't know. Poop земли. They decide that the whole world should just revolve around them. Man be man. God created woman to be loved and pursued. God created men to be hunters and to pursue. So be man. Don't give your role to woman. I mean, you will never respect girl if she will pursue you, because it's not natural. Man, by his nature, he is trying to hunt, to achieve something, to win somebody. I mean, that's how God created man. So man be man. Pursue girls. Don't wait like you're so cool, like she will come and tell me, oh, you're so cool, I love you. Come on. Be man. Don't become woman. Be man. This all the cultures are trying to turn men into woman, to feminize men. Don't be feminized. Man be man. Amen. Man be man. Amen.
One
Sounds
of the
good.
men is asking, do I have to pay for my girlfriend every time?
Yes. If
Here you
she's
go.
your girlfriend, yes. If you are just in company having fun with the youth, no, you don't have to. Only if you wish. But if you already in relationship and you're splitting the check, shame on you.
Amen, amen.
Okay. Have a couple more and then we'll be finishing. But what happens if you meet someone who's a conservative Christian? Do you try to help them understand the relationship over religion?
Say it again.
What happens if you meet someone who's a conservative Christian? Do you try to help them understand the relationship over religion?
No, you can't. See, that's a problem, guys, with when you are too far from each other, even in your understanding of God and church and everything. You see, I grew up in conservative church, but I was never conservative inside. I was open to new things. I was open to learn. The first time I came to the church with praise and worship, it was one service was enough for me to change and accept new style of worshiping God. If person is from conservative church, but he's able to learn, he is not conservative in his mind, and he's accepting the wide range of different forms of serving God, it's okay. But if religion for him means much more than relationship and everything, and he's just very stubborn in his way, like if you don't put kasinka on your head, or when I will marry you, I'll put kasinka on you and so on. I mean, it will be very difficult for you girls. It will be very difficult, or boys, if she is so conservative in her like understanding of life and everything. So if you kind of really love each other, take time and talk about all these things. Make sure you talk about all the questions which you are different in. You grew up in different families and different churches. Make sure you talk about it. And when you talk about it, if you feel like you can work it out, and talk from the beginning what church you're going to attend, if there is going to be marriage and wedding between you two. But yeah, make sure you talk about it because then it may bring a lot of pain.
Yeah, make your own kind. I mean, it makes more sense because like a lot of times we've seen when the relationship starts and some guy from conservative church and a girl from not so very conservative church, then they start try to change each other, and it creates friction, and the friction can create some arguments later on, and it's easy. I mean, it's easier to find somebody that you enjoy the same things. You enjoy worship together. You enjoy maybe some preachers that you like together. You enjoy your church. The best way, actually, if you're in Emmanuel, find someone in Emmanuel. We have a lot of boys here, right? Some handsome boys here, some beautiful girls here as well. So, but if you find someone that's not from this church, if it happens, it's much easier. I can't say that I don't think the conservative are all just religious. I have a lot of friends that are conservative that love Jesus just as much, maybe even more than some of us, but it might create some problems for you later.
The biggest mistake that couple make sometimes, they think, oh, I'll get married and, я ее перевоспитаю или я его перевоспитаю.
I will rediscipline her.
Yeah, but
Or him.
no, it doesn't work this way. When you get married, both of you kind of get more relaxed. So,
Well, I have a cousin. She was in California for 30 years old. I mean, since she moved there. 2 years ago, she got married to Anderson, to South Carolina, to Anderson. She is from same church as us, but he is from very, very conservative church in Anderson. And when I asked her how she gonna deal with that, she just said, well, I'm just gonna serve God as my husband understand. But it was her decision from the beginning to accept his way. And as far as I know, they're good, they're happy. But you need to talk about it from the beginning.
So we'll wrap it up with one last question, and it is, how do you keep close friends from interfering in your marriage?
Say it again.
How do you keep your close friends from interfering in your marriage?
Как не позволять друзьям.
I think one thing you need to understand, especially when you get married, but even when it goes to, it gets there, like when you're already engaged, the person that's most important in your life now, after marriage, is your wife or your husband. Your parents still honor your parents, obviously, but your parents at that point, they're just advisors. And same thing with your best friends or your best girlfriends. They can be just advisors. You don't have to listen to them anymore. Your husband or your wife is the only person, should be the only closest person to you. So never let your girlfriends or your boys to interfere with your marriage or sow bad things into your marriage, telling you, oh, your wife is this way, I tell my wife, I teach my wife, or the other way around, oh, I train my husband like that, you should do the same. Never, ever get this type of advice or receive this type of advice. Your marriage is, your future marriage is unique. Only God created you uniquely, and your marriage is going to be unique, different from any other marriages. Yes, take some good advices, take some good example and implement it in your life, but don't let anybody to get between you and your spouse.
Parents get over your spouse. Don't let friends get over your spouse. Just don't let it. After you get married, your best friend is your spouse. That's it. All the rest, I mean, even now, if for example, I'm planning to go to Banya, I'll always tell my wife and get her. Of course, I know she will approve that. She will bless me, but I'll still tell her, well, I'll go to Banya, and she said, okay. I mean, it's not like I even don't tell her anything. I just go somewhere, or she does not tell me where she is going. We always know where. I know where she's going, and she knows where I'm going. So we communicate, we respect each other, and we kind of ask, can I go there? Not like in the sense that we are controlling each other, but in the sense that we love and respect each other, and we want to improve each other in what we are doing, and yeah, that's how it works.
И еще один совет: не
And one
рассказывайте
more advice is
своим подружкам и друзьям,
don't tell your
если
friends
у вас какая-то ссора произошла,
if you have some sort of argument,
или ваш муж не так поступил, как вам хотелось
or if your
бы.
husband acted in a way
Не
that you didn't
рассказывайте это
like.
никому,
Don't tell anybody about it.
потому что таким образом вы как будто бы впускаете этого человека в ваши взаимоотношения.
Because in that way, you are essentially allowing that person into your relationship.
И потом он будет иметь как будто бы право что-то вам советовать.
And that person will, in a sense, have the right to give you some sort of advice.
Или неправильно относиться к вашему мужу
You know,
или к жене.
or like to treat your husband or your wife wrong.
И маме с папой даже не рассказывать.
You know, and you shouldn't even be telling your parents about
Они,
these conflicts.
Им тяжело, наверное, будет
Dad was
простить.
telling his daughter on the wedding day, well, feed your husband well, like sexually be good with him, and if he will offend you, don't tell me. Daughter is asking, why, father? Because you will forgive him and I am not.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you guys for coming here, for finding the time to share so much with us. I can say for all of us that we really enjoyed it. Can we give them a big round of applause?
Well, I hope some of you left not because it was boring, guys. It's
Yes.
time.
Yes, it is time. Before Pastor finishes up with prayer and some announcements, if we can get up and go to the gym real quickly to finish some of our socializing there and not stay in the gym for too long. Other than that, we don't have any other announcements.
Yeah, guys, tomorrow we start our 3-day fast. And I encourage you, and you can make one of the goals for your future spouse, which will help a lot. I started to pray for my future spouse when I was 13 years old. I don't know why. That's how I just came inside of me, and I started to pray about it. So I encourage you, every night we're going to have services. Come and join us. Second, tomorrow from 4 to 6, we're going to serve hot meals in our parking lot. And we need your help. We have people who are going to cook it, but we need your help, like to pack it, to put it in bags, and like, yeah, come and serve your community. So I know there is no school on this week. If you don't have any plans yet, come a couple hours, serve here. I mean, it will be good investment of your time. Tomorrow, like, you can be here like around 3 p.m. already, you can be here. And even 2 p.m. and yeah, we can just be a blessing to our local community. Thank you. Yeah. Let us pray. Lord Jesus, we thank you for this time, and we thank you for this good conversation and good dialogue we had with young people. And we just pray that whatever we were talking about, it will benefit them, it will bring good, and it will bring some good knowledge to them, and it will help them for their future life. It will help them to get a relationship right and do it right, and just be blessed in their future life. Help them to lay a good and strong foundation now, having right understanding of these things. Bless each and every one of these young people who left maybe earlier and those who stay here now. We wish them only the best. We wish them good families, good relationship. We wish them healthy relationship between each other, good and strong relationship with you, Lord Jesus, and all areas of their lives, and healthy relationship with their parents. We bless them in all areas of their lives. Help us be a blessing to each other. Yes, we are from different generations, but help us to support and be a blessing to each other in this local church, and just build strong families, strong church, strong people, strong men for your glory, Jesus. Thank you again for this time, and bless us all in the name of Jesus. Amen. Amen. Thank you, guys.